تسمعوني؟ قوات أعداء حول.
الطائرة بدون طيار تعمل.
ظهر جنود الأعداء. أدين لك بواحدة. ظهر جنود الأعداء. ظهر جنود الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء. تسمعوني؟ تم التحرك. ظهر جنود الأعداء. شوهدت قوات الأعداء. تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ جنود الأعداء على الأرض. على سرية الأعداء. سرية للأعداء. تسمعوني؟ جنود الأعداء على الأرض. جنود الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء. جنود الأعداء. شوهدت قوات الأعداء. تحركات الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ سرية للأعداء. سرية للأعداء. ظهر جنود الأعداء.
الطائرة بدون
جنود الأعداء. سرية للأعداء. جنود الأعداء على الأرض. جنود الأعداء على الأرض. سرية للأعداء. يحتاج إلى ذخيرة. جنود الأعداء على الأرض. ظهر جنود الأعداء. سرية للأعداء. تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. جنود الأعداء على الأرض. حاضر. قوات أعداء حول. جنود الأعداء على الأرض. جنود الأعداء على الأرض. جنود الأعداء. جنود الأعداء. قوات وحدات سرية للأعداء.
طيار تعمل. بدأت
تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ شوهدت قوات الأعداء. ظهر جنود الأعداء. حول. ظهر جنود الأعداء. تم مسح جميع المناطق.
عن العمل.
وحدات حركات الأعداء. جنود الأعداء. تحركات الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ وحدات الأعداء على الأرض. ظهر جنود الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ شوهدت قوات الأعداء. لدينا خسائر كثيرة. على النقاط. حول. تحركات الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟
بدأت البث.
أين المسعف؟ قناص من الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. جنود الأعداء على الأرض. ظهر جنود الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء. شوهد الأعداء على الأرض. ظهر جنود الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك.
بدأت البث.
ظهر جنود الأعداء. شوهدت قوات الأعداء. شوهدت قوات الأعداء. جنود الأعداء. ظهر جنود الأعداء. شوهد قناص من الأعداء. جنود الأعداء. ظهر جنود الأعداء. جنود الأعداء. تم التعرف على شوهد قناص من الأعداء. جنود الأعداء.
الطائرة بدون طيار تعمل. بدأت البث.
وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. شوهد القوات. على سرية الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ تحركات الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ تحركات الأعداء تتحرك. أحسن. شكرا. شوهدت قوات جنود الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. ظهر جنود الأعداء. تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ تم تم الاستيلاء على إحدى النقاط. ظهر جنود الأعداء. ظهرت قوات الأعداء. التجهيزات صارت في موقعك. ظهر جنود الأعداء.
صار بدون خيار تعمل وبدأت
تحرك قوات الأعداء. حول. ظهر جنود الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. شوهدت قوات الأعداء. حول.
لقد دخول الطائرة بدون خيار.
شوهدت قوات الأعداء. حول.
الطائرة بدون خيار.
شوهدت قوات الأعداء. الكثير من الرجال. شوهدت قوات الأعداء. حول. تم التعرف على سرية شوهدت قوات الأعداء. ظهر جنود الأعداء. ظهر جنود الأعداء. قوات الأعداء. حول. تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. ظهر جنود تحركات الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء تحركت. تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. ظهر جنود الأعداء. تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ جنود الأعداء على الأرض.
الطائرة بدون خيار تعمل وبدأت البث.
قوات الأعداء. حول. تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ تم التعرف على الأعداء. الله. ظهر جنود الأعداء من الأعداء. التجهيزات صارت في موقعك. شوهدت قوات الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟
الطائرة بدون خيار تعمل وبدأت البث.
تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ شوهد قناص من الأعداء. تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. ظهر جنود الأعداء. شوهدت قوات الأعداء. قناص من الأعداء. ظهر جنود الأعداء.
جاري البث الحي من
ظهر جنود الأعداء. قوات الأعداء. حول. تم التعرف. شوهد قناص من الأعداء.
جاري البث الحي من الطائرة بدون خيار.
صارت قوات الأعداء. حول منطقة.
تحرير المسعف. نحتاج إسعافات أولية.
تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. أين المسعف؟
لقد دخول الطائرة بدون خيار.
جيدة.
انتهى البث.
شكرا. شوهد Over. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Hostiles on the ground. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Move out. Attack here. Move out! Attack here! New commander is on duty. Enemy infantry! Enemy infantry spotted! Over! Hostile forces spotted! Over!
Frag out!
Enemy forces spotted! Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces identified. Do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy spotted.
Online and transfer.
Follow me, soldiers. Good deal, thanks. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Cleared and under control. Supplies at your position. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Enemy infantry forces spotted. Over.
Online and transfer.
Hostile forces enemy spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy spotted. Outpost is enemy infantry spotted.
UAV online and transfer.
Enemy forces over. Enemy forces spotted. Hostile enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Medic.
Medic!
Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Ammo!
Enemy force over. Negatory. Enemy forces spotted.
UAV transfer.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces over. Supplies at your position.
Medic! نحتاج إسعافات أولية.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
All right, you're good to go. First aid!
Hey, thanks.
UAV transmitting on discharge.
You got it.
Throwing fire!
Enemy infantry spotted.
Frag out!
Enemy force over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
All clear.
Enemy forces
Position
spotted.
under control. Out. Hostile forces spotted. At your position. Over.
Enemy forces. Ammo here.
Enemy forces spotted.
First aid.
Outpost is being overrun.
Ammo here.
UAV online.
Frag out.
I owe you one. Enemy forces spotted. Hey,
Transmitting
I owe you one. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Ammo. Get ammo here. Throwing frag. Ammo. Get ammo here. Ammo right here.
All clear. Position under control. Out. Enemy troops. Enemy forces spotted. Over.
UAV online and
Enemy infantry spotted. Supplies at your position. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Okay. Enemy troops. Enemy infantry spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy troops identified. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces over. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces identified. Do you copy? Enemy forces. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hey, I owe you one. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. We've lost control of an outpost. Spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy forces. Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Outpost is being overrun. Negative. Hostile infantry spotted. We're losing this battle. Start fighting or I'll find someone who does. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Spotted.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Hostile enemy infantry spotted.
Clear. Go live. First aid. Here.
All clear. Position under control. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Enemy forces. Enemy
units on the move. Do you copy? All clear. Position under control. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
Enemy.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Medic. Enemy force. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
All right, you're good to go. Clear. All right.
Good deal, thanks.
Crusade right here.
Damn it, sorry.
Enemy.
Enemy spotted.
Clear.
Hostile troops identified. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. All clear. Position under control. Out.
Grenade.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy unit on the move. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Supplies at your position. Forces over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces, over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy unit forces. Do you copy? All clear. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Enemy forces. Hostile forces spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy units on the move. Thanks. I owe you one. Get off, soldiers. Let's move. Get off this net. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy sniper. Enemy forces spotted. Position under control. Out. Sniper on perimeter. Over. Sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Sniper spotted. Enemy forces over. Enemy sniper spotted. Snipers on our perimeter. Enemy sniper spotted. Sniper! Supplies at your position. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy infantry spotted. All clear. Position under control. Out. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy units on the move. Damn it, sorry.
UAV online.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy troops on the ground. We've lost control of an outpost. Enemy infantry spotted. Negatory. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Running dry. Need ammo. Over. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Move it. Hostile forces spotted. At your position. Okay, you got it. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostiles on the ground.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. On the ground. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Running dry. Need ammo. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Outpost is being overlost. Control of an outpost. Hostile forces spotted. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Ammo here.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces over. Medic. Enemy infantry spotted. Position cleared and under control. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Medic.
أحضر الإسعافات الأولية إلى هنا.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Position cleared and under control. Enemy forces over.
UAV offline.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces over.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
A bingo on ammo. A bingo on ammo. Under control. Medic. Enemy troop. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Good deal. Thanks.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy troops identified. Hostile infantry spotted. Enemy troops identified. Enemy troops identified. Enemy infantry spotted. Follow me. A bingo on ammo. Do you copy? Running dry. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Running dry. Need ammo. Oh, sorry, Chief. Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
سقط أحد الرجال. Clear. All right.
Good deal, thanks.
First aid.
Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy forces over. Supplies at your position. Enemy forces over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
Grenade.
Enemy activity. You copy. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy spotted. A bingo on ammo. Do you copy? Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy identified. Do you copy? Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. Over. Outpost is being overrun. Supplies at your negatory. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Ammo, here!
Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Need ammo. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Position cleared and under control. Need ammo. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? On the ground.
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy forces spotted. Over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy unit on the move. Enemy unit on the move. Do you copy?
UAV is bingo on fuel. Transmission ending.
Hostile infantry forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces over.
UAV transmitting.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
أين المسعد؟
Okay, hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces over. Supplies at your position. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Do you copy? Enemy forces over. We need ammo. Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
Get ammo, here!
Thanks.
Ammo, here! Ammo, here! Grenade! Get first aid!
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Spotted. Enemy units on the move. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Clear!
Hostiles on the ground.
UAV transmitting.
Enemy infantry. Sorry. Okay. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy spotted. We've lost control of an outpost. Enemy forces over. Enemy infantry spotted. On the ground. Hostile force spotted. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Supplies at your position. Enemy units on the move. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Enemy activity. Requesting reinforcements. Over. Hostiles on the ground. Enemy units on the move. Enemy troops requesting reinforcements. Enemy troops on the ground.
Enemy.
Hostile forces spotted. Infantry spotted. Over.
Transporting on this mark.
First aid here. First aid here.
Enemy unit. Medic. Enemy activity. Copy. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Do you copy? Supplies at your position. Medic.
Good deal, thanks. First aid, here!
Hostiles on the enemy troops.
Here!
Medic.
Transmitting on this mark.
Hey, thanks. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Grenade!
Requesting ammunition. Over. Medic. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy troops. Medic. Enemy infantry spotted. Hostile infantry spotted. Enemy troops.
Transmitting on this mark.
Enemy infantry spotted. We need enemy sniper. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy engine. Do you copy? Hostiles on the ground. Enemy troops. We've lost control of an outpost. Under control. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy active. Do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Medic. Hostile infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Hostiles on the ground. We've lost control of an outpost. Outpost is being overrun. Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
UAV offline.
Medic! Sniper! Medic! Enemy forces over.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
troops identified. Do you copy? Cleared and under control. Running dry. Need ammo. Over. Hostile troops identified. Over. Copy. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces over. Hostile enemy forces over. You copy. Enemy unit. Enemy troops identified. You copy. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
First aid.
Enemy forces spotted. Requesting ammunition. Over. Hostiles on the ground. We're running low on reinforcements. Enemy forces spotted. Sniper! Enemy activity. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy snipers. Enemy hostile infantry. Enemy forces. Requesting ammunition. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. All clear. Position under control. Out. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Requesting ammunition. Enemy units on the move. We need ammo. Enemy forces identified. You copy? Enemy requesting ammunition. Over. Requesting ammunition. Over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy spotted. We need ammo. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy troop. Hostile forces spotted. Over.